Thanks for joining me. President Trump is scheduled to make a decision on whether to move the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv this coming Wednesday, December 6th. So watch for that. He's scheduled to make a major announcement. I say move the embassy. Move the embassy to Israel's rightful and eternal capital. Congress approved this back in the 1980s. Apparently every 6 months, the administrations successively have gotten waivers to keep the embassy in Tel Aviv under the guise of national security. And yeah, there are national security concerns, but it's time to take a stand, not only for the state of Israel to engage in what every legitimate sovereign nation does, which is choose its own capital, but also a stand for freedom and the rights of nations, not to mention, from a religious perspective, strengthening Israel as the footstool of the coming of the Messiah. I mean, I speak here as a Jew, but, and I believe that. However, from a Jewish and from a secular perspective, it's a benefit to the United States, it's a benefit to the free world, it's a benefit to Western civilization to not only support Israel, but to support Israel in its quest to have its eternal capital recognized as its seat of government, as it was in the Ancient of Days, in the days of King David, and during the Second Commonwealth times of the Maccabees, of the Hasmoneans, which I think about as we enter into this Hanukkah season. I would ask peace-loving and reasonable and moderate Muslims to join this effort. The Quran calls for Jerusalem specifically to be the capital of the Jewish people, or as Quran calls us, the people of the book, in order to reach the same goal that Judaism is trying to reach, that Jews are trying to reach, which is to raise the spirituality of the world and as such bring about the Messiah. So, we share that belief, Jews and Muslims, and certainly Christians as well. Christians are looking for the second coming of their Christ. So all of the religions have a role in it. It's an important statement politically and religiously, and it would be the best and most profound and most certainly pro-Israel act by any president of the United States since Harry Truman recognized the state of Israel in April of 1948. At that time, the only reason why Jerusalem was not recognized as the capital was because of certain anti-Semites in the State Department. Let's not let them win. Let's recognize Israel and Jerusalem because it's the right thing to do. Israel's entitled to determine its own capital, as long as they are preserving, and they are, the rights of the non-Jewish, Muslim, and Christian minorities in Jerusalem, as long as they are respecting, which they are, the holy sites of Islam and Christianity, then they ought to be able to determine their own future in that eternal city. And by the way, just as a sidebar, there was a poll done of non-Jewish Palestinian Arabs who are residents of Jerusalem a number of years ago with regard to whether or not they wanted Israeli citizenship. And I think that it was about 70% of them did. So, this might be part of it. I think that they should be offered citizenship with Israel. And, as long as they are willing to, as part of that citizenship, take a reasonable loyalty oath to the state of Israel as a Jewish state, which any sovereign state would expect, then they should be offered citizenship. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. This is Chuck Morse, right here at the Morse Force. Have a good day, everybody.